Lin Luo immediately used the mourner's ashes to restore the energy of Master of Wishes after his order, and in less than a second, Master of Wishes had imprinted Liu Yu's location in his mind. Lin Luo, along with Trinity Kagaya, immediately pursued Liu Yu. By this time, Liu Yu had already landed on top of a tall building, his heart filled with anger and regret. Liu Yu smashed the wall beside him in a fit of rage, murmuring, "Damn it, if I had fought with all my strength from the beginning, I wouldn't have lost so miserably. Now that the Celestial Master token has been taken, my strength has drastically decreased. Continuing the fight might indeed lead to my demise." Forming a seal with his hand, he commented, "I originally planned to use a respectable appearance to make it easier to travel around the world. Now this appearance is no longer useful." At the moment, Liu Yu was like a frightened bird. While Liu Yu was still considering where to do next, his ears twitched, detecting the sound of sonic boom from above. He quickly used 2 heavenly eye talismans and placed them over his eyes, allowing him to clearly see through the mist. He saw a Trinity Kagaya engulfed in black and red flames approaching at an unbelievable speed. Liu Yu was instantly drenched in cold sweat, wondering how she could have located him. He hastily summoned Jinping Jinjuan again, who immediately commenced the Yin-Yang Thunder God Escape technique. And just like that, Liu Yu turned into a bolt of lightning and shot into the sky, disappearing without a trace. Not long after, Trinity Kagaya landed at the spot where Liu Yu had just been. Lin Luo couldn't help but curse softly at the speed of Liu Yu's escape, and then instructed Master of Wishes to continue tracking him. Meanwhile, Liu Yu, still in the air, was puzzled. How does Dark Emperor know my location? Does he have a substitute that can track targets? Having multiple substitutes that can also integrate with each other, his talent is definitely more terrifying than an ordinary SSS-class talent. I never heard of such a person from Utaijia in his previous life. Just as Liu Yu landed on an insect, a soldier rushed over anxiously and said, "Brother, are you here to help? Our second echelon's S-class awakeners are running out of energy. Can you come and assist them?" Liu Yu looked towards the Void King insect that the army was attacking and immediately showed a disdainful expression. Just a mere Void King insect. Just as Liu Yu was about to say something else, he heard another dreadful sonic boom sound in the air behind him, like a maggot attached to a bone. His expression changed drastically, and he pushed the soldier away impatiently, saying, "Don't bother me, get lost." Then, once again enveloped in lightning, Liu Yu rapidly fled the area. The soldier watched his retreating figure with a sense of helplessness. Behind him, unbeknownst to the soldier, a bug-like monster crept closer. By the time he realized, a pair of massive scythes was almost upon him. Suddenly, a red and black sword shadow flashed by, cutting the insect monster in two. Lin Luo, leading Trinity Kagaya, asking with a smile, "Are you all right?" The soldier was about to express his gratitude when he suddenly noticed several more monsters attacking from behind Lin Luo. Like a frightened chicken, he pointed at them in complete shock. Lin Luo summoned his longsword, and with a few swings of whirlwind sword aura, the surrounding insect monsters were instantly slain. The soldier was completely stunned by the display of power. He had seen many S-class awakeners, but never anyone this formidable. He immediately grabbed Lin Luo and pleaded, "Please, help us. The monsters here are too powerful. Firearms and machine guns can't kill them, and my comrades are suffering heavy casualties." Lin Luo responded with a gentle smile and a thumbs up. "Don't worry, now that I am here, you are safe. Leave the rest to me." The soldier wanted to warn Lin Luo about the dangers, but he was too overwhelmed by the sight of the large insect creature. The Void King insect was an old adversary for Lin Luo, and he had always believed there was only one of such a level. Now it seemed that these Void King insects, like ordinary animals, had their own territories. Staring at the Void King insect, the soldier noticed that it was summoning a swarm of insects again. Then looking back at this young man, the soldier knew Lin Luo was powerful, but he still felt Lin Luo was being too reckless. A single mistake due to underestimating the enemy could be fatal. Lin Luo, indifferent to the soldier's concerns, stated unequivocally, "Have your people fall back. This place will be my battlefield now." Lin Luo rose into the air as he sent several whirlwind sword auras straight at the Void King insect's face. At that moment, the fusion time for Trinity Kagaya, the composite form, ended, and her black flame shed from her body, transforming into Dark Emperor, who immediately dashes towards the Void King insect. Lin Luo wasn't surprised by this transformation, as the events were already foretold by the future diary. Their current task was to obliterate the Void King insect. Lin Luo, together with Lady Kagaya, attacked the Void King insect with multiple whirlwind sword auras from the flanks, as Dark Emperor unleashed a barrage of iron fist on its head. The soldier beside him was completely flabbergasted, a realization flashing through his mind as he screamed in disbelief, "Dark Emperor? You are the Dark Emperor." He quickly grabbed a walkie-talkie and shouted, "Captain, we are saved. The Dark Emperor is here. It's unmistakable, it's really the Dark Emperor." His substitute and the one described by reporter Yao in the videos are exactly the same, a beautiful girl in a maiden dress with a sword and a warrior in black armor. Lin Luo, with a casual gesture, sent countless azure sword energies piercing into the insect king's body. They continued with their strategy as Dark Emperor mindlessly unleashed a barrage of punches on the head, while Lin Luo and Lady Kaguya seized the opportunity to also do the same, unleashing multiple whirlwind sword auras straight at the flanks and legs. Soon, the Void King insect emitted a loud, earth-shattering wail. Hearing this, the surrounding insect creatures immediately abandoned their opponents and rushed towards Lin Luo. The soldiers, already exhausted from prolonged fighting, suddenly felt revitalized. As if invigorated by a surge of adrenaline, the Dark Emperor, through widespread propaganda, had become something of a national hero. Lin Luo, awaiting the approaching swarm of insect creatures, revealed a cold demeanor. And with a cold smile, he murmured to himself that the experience points the Void King insect was delivering at his doorstep was nothing for him. He took out a frost-white horn, and after taking a deep breath, blew into it fiercely. The long sound of the horn echoed through the sky, summoning a colossal frost giant dragon from a crack in the void, though similar in rank to a typical S-class substitute. Its massive size made it ideal for dealing with the lesser insect minions. As the frost giant dragon opened its mouth and roared violently, countless insect creatures were shattered by the sound and fell from the sky. Lin Luo was pleased with the effect. Defeating this king insect would grant him at least 5 Wheel of Fate single draw tickets and 5 fate crystals. Just then, a chorus of rallying cries rose behind him. "Dark Emperor, hold on. We are coming to help you." A large group of soldiers was charging towards his position. Lin Luo was bemused, thinking, "When did I need help?" Lin Luo quickly called out to stop them from approaching, telling them that the Void King insect was just a thick-skinned pest that didn't require their assistance. The soldiers stood there, stunned, as their night-long adversary was dismissed as mere trash. Lin Luo then wielded the Heart of Oblivion, and its sword energy surged. Several more fierce whirlwind sword auras swiftly depleted the Void King insect's last sliver of health. Lin Luo proudly stood on top of the corpse of the defeated Void King insect, showing no sign of fatigue. "Congratulations, player, for defeating the Wormhole Guardian Void King insect. Congratulations, player, for earning 5 Wheel of Fate single draw tickets and 5 fate crystals. Congratulations to the player. You have caused 70% damage to the Void King insect and gained 35,280,000 experience points. Killing monsters above level 6 gains 700% experience bonus, for 100% added disaster experience bonus, and 100 Wish with 300% experience bonus, gaining a total of 8,400% experience bonus. Congratulations, player, for leveling up to level 29. The soldiers watched in utter astonishment at the unfolding scene, some speaking in disbelief. He really is the world's #1 Dark Emperor. These bugs really are no match for him. Lin Luo waved at them, and then swiftly continued chasing towards Lu Yu's location. Although he couldn't catch up, scaring him was also rewarding enough. He was determined to leave Lu Yu with an unforgettable experience. From this point onward, the name Dark Emperor will be engraved into Lu Yu's soul, making him terrified of his own shadow at the mention of the name. A few soldiers, upon seeing the Dark Emperor just kill the Void King insect, turned and disappeared into the mist, their eyes brimming with moved tears, immediately turning into enthusiastic fanboys. Doing good without expecting a reward, truly a role model for our generation. Meanwhile, on the balcony of a villa in the neighborhood, Lu Yu, somewhat in disarray, landed with the thunder. He could no longer care about losing face. Compared to his life, it was mere trash. He had to seek help to survive. He kicked open the balcony door and shouted loudly, "Old Yu, are you there?" However, the villa was pitch dark, and only his voice echoed, clearly indicating no one was there. He could only take out a talisman, recording the details of his fight with Dark Emperor and adding at the end, "Old Yu, Dark Emperor's abilities are too strange. If you want to know more about him or retrieve your lost powers, you'll have to contact me." After recording, he stuck the talisman in the most conspicuous place. At this moment, he finally calmed down a bit. He knew he couldn't keep running like this. The energy of the substitute was limited, and he had to find a way to make it impossible for the other party to track him. He immediately performed a hand seal and softly exclaimed, "Please, Wenkuxingjin, relieve my worries and help me get rid of the enemy's tracking technique." Instantly, an elder in plain robes appeared beside him. Smiling at Lu Yu, he said, "I, Wenkuxingjin, have been invited to come and wish the Heavenly Master a helping hand." With a gentle wave of his sleeve, he replied that Wenkuxingjin got the order, and a mighty aura of righteousness descended from the sky, enveloping Lu Yu. Lu Yu felt a sense of relief. He knew the mark on him must have been erased. Lu Yu murmured, finally, "That guy won't be able to find me in a short while." With a gloomy expression, Lu Yu continued, "This battle had been too costly for me. The energy I gained from staying up late to grind secret realms with Yute Jia and others the other day is down to just a few hundred points. Moreover, I was really careless and lost the Celestial Master Sect Heritage Treasure, the Celestial Master Token. Fortunately, without the secret method taught by my Heavenly Master, it cannot be used at all. When I grow stronger, I will definitely take back the Celestial Master Token and completely avenge this humiliation." After realizing these things, Li began to check his substitute's attribute panel. However, his face became ugly when he found something very unsettling. His substitute, Tianzuan Majesty, had lost a significant 120 points of intelligence, and the skill, Majestic Demeanor of the Heavenly Lord, had also strangely diminished to only 60% of its original power. However, with no time to ponder further, he knew he had to quickly leave this place before trouble arrives. Meanwhile, Master of Wishes informed Lin Luo that the tracking had been removed. Lin Luo didn't show much disappointment. With the power of the future diary, whatever the other party does, he can find out a day in advance. Lin Luo made a wish to Master of Wishes, saying, "Oh, Master of Wishes, if Liu appears within 10 kilometers of any important person to me, let me be notified." With the wish made, Lin Luo felt relieved, free of worry. Now, it was time to check the spoils of the battle. He first opened Dark Emperor's attribute panel. He remembered that during the battle, Lady Kaguya struck the elderly substitute twice with the Blade of Invasion. He was curious about what power had been seized. Dark Emperor's attribute panel has gained a few changes as his intelligence had increased by 120 points, and he had acquired a new skill, Majestic Demeanor of the Heavenly Lord, 40%. Lin Luo was surprised. Forget it. Maybe after Dark Emperor is upgraded to SSS level, he can evolve a stronger plunder skill. This Majestic Demeanor of the Heavenly Lord skill is quite good, but what use is such high intelligence for a warrior like Dark Emperor? A bit disgruntled, Lin Luo closed Dark Emperor's attribute panel and then took out the Celestial Master Token. He recalled Lu Yu's method of using it and held the token to his forehead, but nothing happened, leading to some embarrassment. It seemed that this sex-specific item wasn't meant for outsiders like him. Annoyed and somewhat embarrassed, Lin Luo handed the Celestial Master Token to Master of Wishes, demanding, "Master of Wishes, modify this Celestial Master Token so only I can use it." Master of Wishes replied with some difficulty, "My great master, to modify this Celestial Master Token, it will consume at least half of my energy." Upon hearing the need for energy, Lin Luo laughed heartily and immediately sprinkled a large amount of the mourner's ashes towards Master of Wishes, stating indifferently, "Energy is meant to be used. A problem that can be solved with energy is not a problem at all." With no further hesitation, Master of Wishes began flipping through the Book of Wishes with a satisfied expression on his face. The Celestial Master Token, transformed by the power of wishes, looked slightly different. Its color was somewhat refreshed, as if it had shed some of its historical dust, and Lin Luo smiled brightly when he saw this. The most astonishing part was the token now had its own attribute panel. Celestial Master Order Quality, Holy Level, the best grade. Only usable by Lin Luo. Effects. Permanently lowers own mana limit to 1,000 points. Summons 10 ancestors from Celestial Master Sect to assist in the battle, lasting for 10 minutes. And with a cooling time of a day, Lin Luo was astonished, smiling from ear to ear. He hadn't encountered a holy grade item in 3 years in his past life, and here Liu had been carrying such a heaven-defying treasure. But soon, he noticed something amiss. Why are there only 10 ancestors available for summoning? I clearly remember Liu summoning 12. Could it be that the 2 slain by Lady Kaguya have completely disappeared? Lin Luo felt a pang of loss. Those 2 ancestors' powers were comparable to a standard S-tier substitute, but given the circumstances, there was no way to hold back. 10 S-tier and all combatants. What a gain! I wonder what that Lu Yu will do if he finds out. Maybe if I'm lucky. He might get so angry to the point of having a heart attack. Next, he planned to continue gathering energy and boosting his mana limit. Once the rat-level disaster passes, he intended to head to northern Myanmar, a hunting ground ripe for his taking. At this time, Yu Taijian and Qin Fan returned to the villa and immediately noticed the talisman Lu Yu had left on the wall. After reading the recorded message, their expressions changed drastically and Yu Taijian quickly tried calling Lu Yu. However, all were baffled. What? Lu Yu lost to Dark Emperor in a duel? Wasn't Lu Yu claimed to be strong enough to defeat the three of us alone? To think he couldn't even overcome Dark Emperor by himself. Upon receiving the news, Yu Taijian was quite astonished. He was well aware of Lu Yu's capabilities as a top-tier SSS-class talent, combined with the mysterious and profound heritage of the Celestial Master sect. The fact that such a person lost to Dark Emperor was bewildering. After hanging up the phone, Yu Taijian headed to the location of the battle by following the clues left by Lu Yu. As he arrived at the location, the area still held remnants of the substitute's energy from the fight, and the ground bore many traces of the battle. He instructed the girl beside him, King of Time, conduct a time reversal of this area's scene. Upon command, King of Time initiated her power, and several large clocks appeared around her, their hands moving rapidly counterclockwise. Suddenly, Yu Taijian was engulfed in a blue aura and countless scenes started to circle around him. The scenery suddenly begun to shift, reflecting the area's past events in front of Yu Taijian. This ability to rewind time wasn't an actual reversal of time, but rather a means to witness past events in a specific area. As the scene unfolded, Yu Taijian suddenly called for a pause, and then he dived right into the scene before him. The next moment, he appeared beside Lady Kagaya, turning his gaze toward the shadowy figure shrouded in the dense fog, recognizing Dark Emperor. "So, you are the Dark Emperor, the one who returned with me to the time before the mass awakening," he murmured. After scrutinizing Lin Luo, he frowned. "I don't recognize this person, and I've never heard of such a figure in my past life. His strength has increased so tremendously in just a few days. Let me uncover your secrets." As Yu Taijian's words trailed off, the scene resumed. By the time it paused again, the battle was halfway through. Yu Taijian immediately recognized the white clock embedded in Dark Emperor's chest and exclaimed, "It's indeed you. The power of King of Time has been seized by you." King of Time, who had come closer, confirmed, "Master, that white clock is indeed the transformation of my second hand's power. Should we join forces with Lu Yu?" Yu Taijian didn't immediately agree, but continued the time reversal, eager to understand how Dark Emperor managed to defeat Lu Yu, an SSS tier talent. After a while, Yu Taijian had watched a significant portion of the battle. He knelt down, overwhelmed and incredulous. How is this possible? How can one person have so many substitutes? And moreover, they can merge with each other. What exactly is the awakened talent of this Dark Emperor? Continuing with his quest for answers, Yu Taijian instructed King of Time to keep the time reversal going. The King of Time warned him, "Long-term time reversal is too taxing on energy and your physical strength." Yu Taijian clenched his fists and firmly said, "Even if it uses up all the energy I've accumulated recently, I must know the secret behind Dark Emperor's strength." As time rewound, the scene rapidly reversed. Even going back to before the battle between Lin Luo and Lu Yu, Yu Taijian followed the reversing Lin Luo to the moment when he had just killed Gao Qi and plundered his talent. Thus, Lin Luo's deepest secret was finally laid bare before him. Yu Taijian was slightly stunned. So this Dark Emperor can actually plunder others' talents by killing them. This is terrifying. No wonder he has so many different talents and substitutes. But whether in this life or my past life, I've never encountered him, let alone been killed by him. How did he seize the power of King of Time? At that moment, King of Time spoke up. "Do you need me to continue tracking his location? We could use delayed blasts to eliminate him while he sleeps." Yu Taijian hastily declined. This Dark Emperor is shrouded in too many mysteries. We need to observe what kind of person he is first. After all, our real enemy comes from beyond the skies. If Dark Emperor's character isn't bad, collaborating with him isn't out of the question. Meanwhile, unbeknownst to Lin Luo, his greatest secret had been uncovered by others. He had just completed another successful raid on the Tomb of Tears, this time preemptively controlling the Lich Bride to prevent any leaks, resulting in his acquisition of 30 portions of Mourner's ashes. Following that, he revisited the refreshed sacred forest and obtained a significant amount of God-given crystal shards. Satisfied with his loot, He then asked Master of Wishes to locate the secret vault left by the prison warden Duan Chi-feng. Shortly afterward, they arrived at a villa. Lin Luo carefully instructed Master of Wishes to disable all surveillance devices. Before nonchalantly entering, he went straight to the basement, which turned out to be a modestly decorated study. Following the method previously mentioned by Duan Chi-feng, he explored the bookshelf until one book was pressed into it, causing the entire bookshelf to slowly rotate and reveal the entrance to a secret chamber. Though he was prepared, the sight inside the secret chamber still staggered Lin Luo. He had never imagined nearly 100 million in cash would look so vast. Overwhelmed by the sight of the massive amount of money, Lin Luo mused that in his past and present life combined, he had never seen so much money. An ordinary person earns 3,000 to 4,000 a month. It would take 2,000 years of work without spending a dime to accumulate this amount. After collecting his thoughts, he immediately, without hesitation, stored all the money in his space crystal. Having dealt with this unexpected windfall, Lin Luo then directed Master of Wishes to locate the position of Wang Hengji, the second son of the Wang corporate empire. If it weren't for being preoccupied with dealing with Lu Yu, he would have sought revenge for his brother much earlier, stealing national treasures and framing his brother for jail where crimes Lin Luo could not tolerate. Inside a building at this moment, Wang Hengji, clearly impatient, rose from the bed. A butler beside him hastily offered his clothes with respect. Wang Hengji spoke with displeasure. "Clean this place up. I'm going down for breakfast. Next time find more. One is simply too fragile." The butler, looking at the girl on the bed already foaming at the mouth and lifeless, couldn't help but shake his head. It was unknown how many girls had perished after the city was shrouded in fog. It seemed that his young master was extremely bored in a splendid office. Wang Hengji was somewhat boredly eating his breakfast when suddenly the lights in the hall went out. Then, an icy voice suddenly rang out in front of the office desk. "Do you enjoy playing? Then, I'll play a game with you." Startled by this sudden change, Wang Hengji stood up with a trembling voice. "Who are you? How did you get in here?" Suddenly, Wang Hengji's head was slammed against his office desk with great force. Wang Hengji felt that there might be something wrong with this man's brain for him to have the audacity to do this, and just when he was about to curse, he was shocked and suddenly found that he could not move or speak. Lin Luo murmured, "Tianzuan Majesty is quite easy to use, although it only has 40% power." He then took a seat, joined his fingers with a serious expression, said something incomprehensible to himself. "Young Master Wang doesn't need to worry about who I am." He had a cold look towards Wang Hengji, then suddenly, his face turned wicked and with a mischievous smile, he said, "You better listen carefully to the rules of the game as it concerns whether you can live through today." He got up from his seat, and with a murderous aura, he continued, "I've released 100 giant locusts into this room to chase you. However, I'm not so heartless. If you can run out through the back door, I'll let you go." With a side glance at Wang Hengji, Lin Luo remarks with a smile, "Young Master Wang, I wish you a happy time. Enjoy." The next moment, the lights turned on. Wang Hengji suddenly looked bewildered, uncertain if what just happened was real or an illusion. Just then, the sound of insects flapping their wings emerged in the room. Countless giant locusts swung directly at him. Wang Hengji was completely panicked, running and shouting for the butler to help. Suddenly, he remembered the words of the mysterious person and quickly ran towards the back door. The moment he pushed the door open, he let out a sigh of relief. Then, the mysterious voice rang out again, startling him. "Congratulations on passing the first level. Let's move on to the next one, the Mist of Murder." Wang Hengji suddenly looked up. His gaze fixed intently on the location within the white fog from where the voice was emanating. A hint of ferocity surged on his face as he demanded, "Who exactly are you? How dare you toy with me like this? Remember your unyielding demeanor now, young Master Wang. Don't beg for mercy later. The second round of our game, Mist of Killing, is about to begin. I'll release an alien hunter to chase after you. If you can run back through the front door to your home, then you'll be considered the winner. So now, let the game begin." Upon hearing this, Wang Hengji immediately began to curse loudly. Suddenly, a terrifying shadow, as tall as a 2-story building, appeared before him. This frightened Wang Hengji into silence, and cold sweat uncontrollably began to stream down his face. His body went rigid with fear, and he turned to run, cursing Lin Luo in his heart. "If I can escape this time, I must use all of Wang Corporation's resources to delete you." Just as he was about to re-enter through the front door, a large swarm of giant locusts suddenly burst out, forcibly pushing him back out. The alien hunter caught up, and its sharp limbs brutally pierced his calf, lifting him into the air. Just when Wang Hengji thought his life was over, the motion of the alien hunter suddenly halted, and a mysterious man's voice rang in his ear again. "Young Master Wang, you were quite energetic just now. Why so lethargic all of a sudden?" Hearing this voice, Wang Hengji no longer dared to act rashly. He had a wonderful life to live and could not die here. He pleaded, "Big brother, I was blind to your greatness earlier. I'll give you anything you want. Please spare me." Lin Luo's mouth curled into a slight cold smile. "I still prefer your unyielding demeanor from earlier. Now, I'll ask you a few questions. If your answers satisfy me, I might spare your life. Do you remember the theft of relics from the Hang City Museum a few years back?" Upon hearing this, Wang Hengji immediately recalled the incident. Such dealings with stolen relics occur often for the Wang family, but besides making an orphan take the blame, it seems we didn't offend anyone else. Just then, he was dropped from the air by the alien hunter. Looking up at Lin Luo, Wang Hengji's eyes shifted as he placed all the blame on his brother, Wang Chongji, claiming he was the instigator of the whole affair. Given his current predicament, he dared not admit to being the culprit himself. If Lin Luo were to take out his brother Wang Chongji, then he could rightfully inherit the Wang family's fortune. Upon hearing this, Lin Luo was slightly taken aback. "Your brother Wang Chongji did it?" "Indeed, it was him. He's the eldest in our family, the one behind all the dirty work. I'm just the scapegoat. Please, don't misunderstand me, big brother." Wang Hengji's tone was so pitiable it almost seemed genuine. At the same time, he secretly activated his B-level talent, Bewitchment, hoping to deceive the man in the fog. It seemed the mysterious man in the fog actually believed his words, as the gigantic insect gradually disappeared into the mist, indicating he would be spared. However, just as Wang Hengji let down his guard, a sword energy suddenly pierced his chest. Wang Hengji fell into a pool of blood, filled with unwillingness. Lin Luo's mouth showed a trace of cold smile, a mere B-level talent trying to brainwash me. Inside a luxurious villa, Wang Chongji was smiling as he told a story to his son. Suddenly, he felt an unprecedented sense of crisis and quickly sent his son back to his room. Then, he summoned his substitute transcendent and took out a gun, as a last resort if needed. Wang Chongji had always publicly claimed his talent was only of C-level, but as a scion of a major family, concealing one's true abilities was a lesson well learned. His actual talent, an S-level called on a whim, was passive and alerted him to danger. It varied in intensity depending on the threat level. With a calm demeanor, Wang Chongji awaits what was approaching his door, gun in hand. At that moment, Lin Luo pushed open the door and entered with a smile, asking, "Are you Mr. Wang Chongji?" Wang Chongji's expression changed upon hearing this. He then replied by asking, "Who are you? What do you want to see me for?" Staring at Lin Luo skeptically, Wang Chongji silently thought, "This young man is dangerous. He got here through the fog without any problem. May I know who you are and what brings you here?" Lin Luo didn't immediately answer. Instead, he casually seated himself before saying, "Mr. Wang, don't be so tense. I was passing by just now and heard Mr. Wang's eloquent story. Mr. Wang, what do you think the sheep will do to the wolves if one day they gain power?" "I, the sheep, came in on my own initiative and wanted to discuss it with you." Wang Hengji replied, "You are so humble, you can ignore all the security guards and sneak into my Wang family directly." Then he silently thought, "With the S-class substitute transcendent standing by, I should be able to rest assured." Then, with a smile, Lin Luo continued, "The rich rely on technology, while the poor rely on mutation. And you said you were a sheep? I would like to ask Mr. Wang to answer my question just now." Wang Hengji raised his eyebrows slightly and said, "With all due respect, a sheep is still a sheep after gaining power, and it cannot change the outcome of being a sheep. Because the fate of sheep is destined to be eaten by wolves, even if they have strength, I don't dare to have any thoughts about wolves. Really, it's destined to always be a sheep then." Lin Luo was in a daze and couldn't help but recall the time before his rebirth. His brother has clearly awakened his A-level talent, but he still sticks to his duties and behaves honestly. "Little Luo, although our awakened talents are not the most powerful, but as long as we abide by our duties, be honest, and help others, life will definitely reward us well." Staring at Wang Hengji with a mockery smile, Lin Luo thought to himself after a brief realization, "Brother Zhou, it's all in vain. We all think that good people will be rewarded with good things. But in the end, they died together in the hands of these greedy scum, completing the destined ending of a sheep." Then Lin Luo replied by saying, "What Mr. Wang said has benefited me a lot. Wang Chongji continued, "It seems that only by not being a sheep can we escape the fate of sheep. You probably didn't come here just to chat with me, right?" "Yes, I almost forgot that I was here to collect a debt." Wang Hengji was puzzled. "A debt?" Suddenly Lin Luo's expression turned wicked, and with an evil smile, he said, "Regarding the theft of cultural relics from the Hangzhou Museum a few years ago, your brother Wang Hengji said that you ordered him to do it." Wang Chongji looked shocked, slightly sweating hearing this, and, after a moment's thought, replied, "I've heard of the case, but it has nothing to do with me. I'm involved in legitimate business. If my family is indeed involved, then it would have been my brother's doing. In our kind of family, it's common to deal in both legitimate and illegitimate businesses, and as the successor, I stay clear of the latter. My brother acts as the frontman for such dealings. This isn't a secret. Anyone in our circles would know. It seems my brother has deceived you." Lin Luo watched him intently, seemingly convinced by his sincere gaze, and the confirmation from the Master of Wishes at the door that Wang Chongji wasn't lying. Then he looked back at Wang Chongji and thought, this man's strength should not be underestimated. He is probably an S-level talent awakener like me. It's better to tell him all the inside story about his brother and let him try to settle the score for him. Seeing this, Wang Chongji continued more earnestly. "It seems you might be a victim of that incident. I apologize on behalf of my brother. Please tell me your story. While I can't undo the hardships you've faced, I hope to offer some financial compensation." The man before him was capable of sneaking into the Wang family's home silently. His strength was definitely not to be underestimated. He might be an S-class talent awakener just like himself. If he could settle this with money, that would be the best. Lin Luo didn't expect the other party to be such a good actor. If it were an ordinary victim hearing these words, they might even feel grateful. He couldn't help but sigh softly. Mr. Wang's attitude is indeed commendable. Much stronger than your useless brother. No wonder you can become the heir to the Wang family. I originally wanted to just crush you, but since you're quite cooperative, I will give you a chance to live. Wang Chongji raised an eyebrow. He didn't expect this young man to be so arrogant. He had already been so humble, yet the others still wanted to kill him. Did he really think he was easygoing? Wang Chongji's mouth curved into a smirk. You speak big words, but you might have overestimated your strength. Lin Luo glanced at the transcendent standing behind him, then summoned Dark Emperor and said, "If your substitute can last more than 5 seconds against my substitute, I'll give you a chance to live." Wang Chongji couldn't help but laugh upon hearing this. What if your substitute is no match for mine? I assume you're also an S-class awakener. Don't think you're invincible just because you have some power. Although substitute transcendent is also only S-class, both its strength and agility are at a full 200 points. Moreover, the most terrifying thing is its skill, future transcendence, which allows it to foresee 1 second into the future, absolutely taking the initiative before the opponent's action. Wang Chongji suddenly widened his eyes as future transcendence activated. He was shocked to find that in a second, the transcendent would be defeated by the opponent's substitute with a punch. So, he immediately ordered the transcendent to use its super agility to kill the opponent's host first, not to clash head-on with the substitute. But, unexpectedly, the next second, the transcendent was blasted back against the wall, denting it. Suddenly, another punch was heading towards the transcendent substitute. The black shadow of a punch didn't give him any chance to react and smashed heavily onto his face. Watching the transcendent that was now completely lifeless, Wang Chongji's face was filled with disbelief. The opponent's black substitute was so fast that it left the transcendent with no chance to dodge. Lin Luo pointed his finger at Wang Chongji and said, "Since you have no substitute, I can only beat you to death now." Wang Chongji hurriedly pulled out the gun and pointed it at Lin Luo at such a close distance. Even if your substitute is formidable, it's useless. Lin Luo looked disdainfully at the dark muzzle of the gun, then calmly commanded, "Master of Wishes, I wish that the gun won't fire any bullets." Upon hearing this, Wang Chongji immediately pulled the trigger. But unexpectedly, after pressing it 5 times, all attempts misfired. He quickly threw away the weapon and pleaded, "Killing me won't benefit you at all. Name your price. I'll buy my life." Lin Luo's lips curled into a sly smile. "Let's hear it. How much are you willing to pay for your life?" "I offer you 50 million, and wherever you need the Wang family's help in the future, I, Wang Chongji, will definitely assist you with all my might." Is the heir of the Wang Corporation only worth 50 million? A corrupt prison warden embezzles more than that, but you've given me some inspiration. I've decided to let Dark Emperor give you a quick end. Wang Chongji didn't expect the other to turn against him faster than flipping a book. He was about to say something more when Lin Luo ordered Dark Emperor to strike. And just like that, Dark Emperor's iron fist boomed into his chest, permanently rendering him unable to have the chance to speak again as his vision darkened. Lin Luo looked at Wang Chongji's body and muttered, "I really should build my own force. After getting rid of you, I can install a compliant puppet in the Wang family to still aid me." Lin Luo then activated his talent Plunder on Wang Chongji's corpse. He checked an attribute panel for the skill, on a whim, which provides an effect as when danger is imminent, different levels of warnings will be generated according to the degree of danger, with no cooldown time. Lin Luo smiled in satisfaction, being able to sense danger without a cooldown time. This talent is quite nice. He then began summoning his new substitute. A warrior clad in silver armor appeared before him, named Transcendent. His attribute panel shows an AS-level substitute, Transcendent with strength of 200, 10 for ordinary people, agility of 200 with intelligence of 15, defense of 30 with HP of 5,500, energy of 150 with growth of 100, energy recovery rate indicating that with every hour, a point is restored, and finally, 15 meters of action distance. As mentioned earlier, Transcendent has a skill, Beyond the Future, which enables him to see the future in the next second in advance. Consumes 5 points of energy with no cooldown time. Transcendent, extremely similar to the S-Class period Dark Emperor, is a high agility, high strength melee type substitute. Lin Luo was very pleased with this substitute, though he felt the skill was a bit underwhelming, only able to foresee 1 second into the future. Hearing Lin Luo's evaluation, Transcendent clearly felt underestimated. "Master, you undervalue me. My power is much greater than you imagine. That black thing behind you could win against me just because the previous master's commands were flawed." Hearing this, Dark Emperor immediately became enraged. "Newcomer, do you want to have another go?" Transcendent naturally would not show weakness, and both substitutes were about to brawl again. Lin Luo naturally wouldn't let such a thing happen and immediately stopped them. Next, he began considering who to choose to control the Wang family as a puppet. After analysis by Master of Wishes, Lin Luo finally selected Wang Chongji's third uncle, Wang Daoqing. Meanwhile, at the Wang Group Industrial Park building, the line of Wang Daoqing has always been competing for power and profit with the head of the family, making him the most suitable candidate. Wang Daoqing is a businessman with a keen sense for commerce. After the era of Universal Awakening, he began to make his moves. However, with the sudden fog and monstrous insects, he planned to sell off 90% of his assets after the fog cleared, elevate his and his son's talents to S-Class, and then form several strong teams. He aimed to monopolize the resources of the dungeon secrets, whether equipment, crystals, or energy, all in his own hands. Perhaps father and son could become local lords. At that moment, applause came from behind them, and Lin Luo walked in with a smile. Mr. Wang has grand ambitions and a far-reaching vision. Being a second-in-command is really beneath you. How about I offer you a grand opportunity? Wang Daoqing's expression tensed upon hearing Lin Luo's words. "I wonder what you mean by that, young friend. I've just conveniently taken care of 2 heirs of the Wang family. Now, your son is the only heir left." Wang Daoqing and his son's faces changed drastically, momentarily stunned by Lin Luo's words. Lin Luo looked at them mockingly. "Or do you brothers have such deep affection that you wish to avenge them?" Wang Chongji was about to retort but was stopped by his father. Wang Daoqing ordered Wang Chongji go and pour a cup of tea for our honored guest. Wang Chongji was slightly stunned, not quite understanding his father's intention, especially as he referred to this audacious young man as an honored guest. Without further explanation but a stern look, Wang Daoqing sent him on his way. Once his son left, Wang Daoqing managed to smile. "My son is not articulate. I hope you don't take offense, young friend, but is what you just said true?" Lin Luo nonchalantly waved his hand, indicating that what he truly valued was Wang Daoqing. As long as his son didn't cause any trouble and obediently listened, it was all fine. Lin Luo said with a smile, "Once this disaster is over, you'll receive news. But if you want to fully control the Wang family, you will undoubtedly face many obstacles. I'll help you clear these obstacles. I only have one condition. Whether it's financial or other aspects, you must provide me with sufficient support." After pondering for a moment, he cautiously asked, "May I be so bold as to ask, what exactly do you mean by clearing these obstacles?" Lin Luo didn't immediately answer his question, but instead said somewhat playfully, "Mr. Wang, although you have already anticipated the future development of the situation, you still see too superficially. The decisions you are making are not wrong, but you still underestimate the changes that the future world will undergo. Soon, this peaceful world will enter a great era of strife until the order completely collapses. Wang Daoqing questioned in somewhat disbelief. Complete collapse? Then, Wang Daoqing's expression became somewhat dazed upon hearing Lin Luo's complete conviction that he will bestow equal death to anyone who stands in his way. His awakened C-class talent, synchronization, allowed him to feel someone's emotions completely for a brief moment. He felt the firmness and confidence in the young man's heart, an unbreakable resolve. Even the long-extinguished passion in his heart seemed to reignite. He gritted his teeth and exclaimed, "I, Wang Daoqing, will join you in this madness." Lin Luo smiled at this. It was naturally less troublesome if the other party agreed. He was already prepared to find someone else to continue negotiations if they didn't agree. After all, if the second-in-command died, there was still a third-in-command. Just then, Wang Xuxi came in with a cup of tea. Wang Daoqing quickly instructed him, "Go and call Li Sun, who has awakened an S-class talent from the factory." Then he hurriedly explained to Lin Luo, "This matter is of great importance. I happen to have an employee who has awakened a contract-type talent. It might be a good idea to have him come over as a witness." A tall young man, Li Sun, was brought in by Wang Xuxi and immediately bowed and greeted his boss, Wang Daoqing, who nodded at him and then unceremoniously ordered him to summon his substitute and explain his talent to Lin Luo. Li Sun promptly summoned his substitute, which appeared as a giant light brown parchment in the void. He looked at his substitute and then introduced, "My substitute is called Pact of Yesteryear. Its ability is quite simple. It establishes a contract between two parties. If one side fails to abide by the contract stipulations, once the agreed-upon time comes, it will be enforced compulsorily." Lin Luo listened and didn't object. If the other party is only S-class, then I should be able to ignore this enforcement. His own substitute, Master of Wishes, claims to fulfill any wish, yet it's limited by the S-class. If a wish is too difficult, it simply collapses. Seeing no objection from Lin Luo, Wang Daoqing then instructed Li Sun to draft the contract. From today onwards, Lin Luo will help Wang Daoqing take complete control of the Wang family. Upon successful completion, the Wang family must provide Lin Luo with no more than 30% of the total assets as financial aid, as well as up to 40% of connections and other types of support. Once the content was confirmed, Wang Daoqing pressed his palm onto the contract, then turned to look at Lin Luo. Lin Luo, without any hesitation, also pressed his hand onto it. Suddenly, Lin Luo sensed an inexplicable sense of karma, but he didn't take it to heart. Even if he breached the contract, this S-class Pact of Yesteryear couldn't do much against him. After ensuring the contract was finalized, he left the place. Wang Xuxi, with a curious expression, immediately asked his father, "Are we really going to cooperate with him?" Wang Daoqing's expression was resolute. The man single-handedly killed 2 heirs of the Wang family and can move freely even during the lockdown. He is probably indeed a benefactor for us. After leaving the Wang family, Lin Luo planned to continue strengthening his capabilities by grinding energy in a mystical realm, then amassing various potions in preparation for future endeavors. He intended to establish a company and build his own gaming guild after the mouse-level catastrophe had passed, learning from the recruitment methods of major powers in his past life to build his own force. The next morning, Lin Luo, while venturing into a secret realm known as the Lava Caverns, incredibly lucked out again, obtaining a diamond-grade weapon, the Flame's Leap, which granted him mastery in two-handed swords. After days of relentless effort, Lin Luo's level had reached 39. His basic physical attributes nearly maxed out in proficiency and various skills reaching new heights. Lin Luo's attribute panel shows a level 39 with an occupation, Storm Swordsman, class, Legendary. HP 100,000, Mana 50,000, Fighting Chi 20,000, Attack Power 2,000, Strength 500, Physique 500, Agility 500, Spirit 259, Intelligence 241. Both Physical and Magic Defense 500. The above attributes are all max out and not superimposed. Equipment attribute skill are Shadow Hunting level 1 and Shield of Fighting Spirit of 490%. Fighting skill, Flame Devouring Wave Sword of 460%, Ice Frost Breath, Crushing Claw Strike, Two-Handed Sword Mastery of 400%, Second Turn Specialty, Feat, Sound Speed Sword Breath, Specialty, Swiftness Feng Jian Gang, and finally a Nun Jian Chi feature. Beyond his 2 diamond-grade weapons, even his least impressive gear was of gold level. However, as dungeons and secret realms for levels 40 to 60 were not yet open, Lin Luo's level and equipment temporarily hit a plateau. In the afternoon, he arrived at a secret realm called the Black and White Bear's Forge. As diamond-grade weapons would accompany him for a long time, they necessitated thorough fortification. Approaching the forge, Lin Luo couldn't help but chuckle upon seeing a player berating a black and white bear for ruining his black iron weapon. He remembered these black and white bears might look cute, but were notoriously temperamental and terrifyingly strong in battle, recalling a scene from his past life where an SS-ranked talent was brutally beaten by one. Sure enough, as his recollection ended, the player was kicked flying by the black and white bear, shaking his head with a smile. Lin Luo presented a celestial master token to the black and white bear, inquiring about enhancing it. To his surprise, the black and white bear was taken aback by the sight of such a sacred item. However, enhancing sacred items required not only game currency but also a special item known as Essence of the King, an elite drop only from level 60 plus monsters, which Lin Luo couldn't procure yet. Disappointed, he put away the Celestial Master token and handed over his two longswords instead. The black and white bear swiftly swung its small hammer, enhancing both swords to +5, each gaining 50 points in attack power. Then, with a sly grin, the black and white bear commented on the pity of only enhancing such fine diamond-grade weapons to +5. Lin Luo, caressing his swords, handed them back to the black and white bear. Enhancing equipment is guaranteed to have a 100% success rate up until +5. However, after reaching that point, the success rate will gradually decrease, and the cost will continue to increase. This black and white bear is obviously trying to scam me out of my money. Then let me take good care of them, to vent the frustration for the majority of players. At that moment, black and white bear's lips curled into a sinister smile, eagerly anticipating the sight of frustration after a failed weapon enhancement. Just then, Lin Luo calmly said, "My enhancement will surely not fail." Black and white bear gave him a look as if he was an idiot, then excitedly started hammering at Flame's Leap with his small hammer, scoffing at Lin Luo's words. The higher the enhancement level, the lower the success rate. Failure is just a matter of time. After a busy flurry, Flame's Leap successfully upgraded from +5 to +6, which annoyed Black and White Bear greatly. A Flame's Leap with an upgrade to 6, quality, diamond level, rare with a restricted level 32, restricted occupation, melee type, and second career change with an attack power of 407 with an increase of 60. Critical hit rate, 24% with 2% increase, critical damage +27%, and an attack speed of +26%. Burning armor, 15% probability of permanently reducing the physical defense of the attacked equipment by 3 points. A remnant fire skill which causes 15 points of burning damage per second that ignores defense to the enemy hit, lasting 3 seconds, and can be stacked up to 10 times. And finally, an active rising flame which activates the power of flame jump, and the next damage will be physical attack power multiplied by 10% of burning damage. A cooling time of 1 hour. As Flame's Leap burns brightly, Black and White Bear immediately took out another small hammer and started working on 2 swords simultaneously. To his disbelief, 30 consecutive enhancements succeeded without a single failure, an utterly unreasonable outcome. Lin Luo and Master of Wishes exchanged glances, and Lin Luo asked playfully, "Must have been hard on you. Is the enhancement done?" Black and White Bear wiped the sweat from his forehead. "I've reached my limit. I can't continue enhancing." Lin Luo responded with a tinge of regret. "That's too bad. Thank you anyway." At that moment, a mechanical voice suddenly echoed as a human-shaped substitute covered in mosaics perfectly recited the attributes of Flame's Leap. Lin Luo, slightly startled, knew his weapon's attributes were hidden, yet this being could read the concealed information. He coldly warned, "Continue exposing my weapon's attributes, and see if I don't chop you up." The mosaic-covered substitute immediately ceased its actions, twisting mechanically. Then, the mechanical voice resonated directly in Lin Luo's mind. "I apologize for my rudeness. Your weapon is so astonishing that I couldn't help but recite its properties. My name is Eagle. My ability is to see through any hidden information. My substitute is called Unfathomable, capable of remote operations and sharing vision with me. I noticed your confident expression during the enhancement. I suspect your substitute might be able to improve success rates." Lin Luo's gaze sharpened. "You know curiosity killed the cat, right?" Eagle's voice resounded again in Lin Luo's mind. "Please don't misunderstand. I'm just looking to exchange contact details for future high-quality equipment enhancements. Besides, I know many wealthy individuals and I could introduce business to you." Upon hearing this, Lin Luo immediately recalled some events from his past life, where indeed many wealthy individuals paid handsomely for equipment enhancements. Thus, he didn't reject the offer and exchanged contact information with Eagle. Meanwhile, in Hang City Military District's conference room number 6, dozens of high-ranking officials were gathered to discuss establishing a supernatural law enforcement team post-disaster. The team's primary focus would be on higher-level awakened individuals with supernatural abilities. Instantly, a proposal emerged to invite the city's hero, Dark Emperor, as the first chief of the team, which met immediate opposition. Some argued that such a critical position should be filled by someone from within the system. Others mentioned that Dark Emperor's guardian, Zhou Dongxing, who was still serving a sentence, had a tainted background, making Dark Emperor unsuitable for such a significant role. The commander, Nia Xiangdong, intervened in the discussion. "I have reinvestigated Zhou Dongxing's case and found some trickery. I plan to release Zhou Dongxing and clear his bad records after the disaster. Moreover, if the Dark Emperor is willing to join the Supernatural Management Bureau, any conditions and positions can be satisfied." Upon hearing this, the other officials' expressions changed dramatically. Such conditions are simply outrageous. Is the Dark Emperor really worth such significant attention from the nation? Nia Xiangdong continued, "From now on, all government agencies must cooperate fully with the Supernatural Administration in handling supernatural cases. This is not a request. It's an order." Meanwhile, Lin Luo, unaware of the official plans to recruit him, visited his brother Zhou Dongxing in detention, giving him a feather of hope as he was about to head to northern Myanmar. He wanted to ensure his brother's safety while he was away. This told him that he can go about your business without worrying about him. He will be fine. The prison guards quickly reported his visit to Commander Nia Xiangdong. After visiting his brother, Lin Luo wandered the empty streets, instructing Master of Wishes to find a company that could quickly transport him to northern Myanmar. Soon, a company named Brilliant Media caught his eye. Lin Luo, with a slight smile, sent his resume to this company that was hiring. The cleverest hunter often appears as the prey, he mused. Inside an office at Brilliant Media, Mr. Xing was discussing life with his new female secretary, with whom he was extremely satisfied. She was not only competent at her job, but also helped him relax after work. The next day, Lin Luo arrived at the Brilliant Media office building following the instructions and the reply he received. Lin Luo summoned Master of Wishes and immediately wished for ordinary strangers not to recognize him. As he approached and entered the building, he was greeted by the female secretary, Minjer, who had worked overnight, struck by Lin Luo's youthful and handsome appearance. She personally escorted him to Mr. Xing's office. When they entered the office, Mr. Xing briefly glanced at Lin Luo's resume before offering him a job on the spot, inviting him to join a company-organized overseas trip in 2 days. Lin Luo readily accepted, as it aligned with his objectives. As he left the building, Lin Luo commented about how his resume was almost blank, but he was actually hired. "Well, I'm very satisfied with it. Does what everyone who comes to Brilliant Media wants anyway." 2 days later, dozens of employees gathered at the company building. The team leader for this team building exercise, Manager Gu, saw that everyone had arrived and promptly arranged for everyone to board the bus headed to the airport. However, confusion spread among the employees when they noticed that the tickets distributed by Manager Gu were for northern Myanmar, not the previously mentioned Singapore. Faced with the employees' confusion, Manager Gu quickly explained that due to the peak travel season, they were unable to purchase enough direct tickets and would need to transit through northern Myanmar to reach Singapore. Lin Luo didn't buy this explanation at all. He was well aware that Brilliant Media was a hotspot for luring people with high salaries to northern Myanmar to engage in kidnapping and telecommunication fraud. "It doesn't matter, I will take action anyway. Before becoming the king of this country, I will have to complete this small goal first. Becoming the king of Mianbei." Soon, Manager Gu led the employees outside after they arrived at the terminal, where Mr. Xing was waving a small red flag at the exit. Behind him was armed security detail in their transportation vehicle. Upon seeing Mr. Xing, Manager Gu said softly, "Boss, will you join us here?" "Yes. I'm not at ease, so I plan to go with you. There are still 2 or 3 hours before the connecting flight. Come on, I will take you to Myanmar." Hearing this, all the employees cheered excitedly as they followed behind Mr. Xing, who was smiling mischievously. But when they saw the broken windows and worn-out-looking shape of the bus, they become somewhat puzzled, their faces showing a dejected expressions. More people among them also realized that something was wrong, and they began to whisper to each other with worried faces. On top of that, the gunmen standing behind Mr. Xing were intimidating as the guns in their hands were not ordinary weapons but military grade. Panic immediately rose among them. Manager Gu, wanting to calm the situation, suggested, "Boss, how about we wait at the airport? The public security here is not good, so it doesn't matter if we don't go shopping." Just then, Mr. Xing bitch slapped Manager Gu across the face, shouting, "I asked you to get in the bus, so just obey quietly and get in. Why are you sprouting so much nonsense?" He then turns to the employees as the armed men pointed their guns at them with sturdy and cold gazes. "Get in the bus quickly, or you'll die here. When you come to my territory, be obedient to me. You idiots still believe you're in Hangzhou?" Upon hearing this, a person from behind the team turned around and started to run away. He exclaimed in panic that he wants to go back home. His speed was so fast that he was about to run out of the street in the blink of an eye. A gunman quickly pointed his gun at the man and was about to start shooting when he was stopped by a dark-haired man, Shinhee. Then, Shinhee said to him, "Wait. He has awakened a speed-type talent. You can't shoot him." Shinhee suddenly shouted as blue aura emanated from him. "Come out, judge's pen." He reached out and casually grabbed an enlarged version of a writing brush, which looked more like a big stick than a pen directly appearing in his hand. He suddenly wrote a few words randomly in a void. And just like that, the guy who was running out of the street instantly froze in place at this moment. Mr. Xing smiled brightly, handed a cigarette to Shinhee, and said with some envy, "I have long heard that Brother Shin has awakened his S-level talent. Now that I have seen it with my own eyes, you are so awesome. It is like a superpower, even more powerful than a gun, right?" After Shinhee lit the cigarette and took a sip, he smiled casually and replied, "How does it compare to a gun? I'm just a thug, and it's more comfortable for a person like you to be in charge. By the way, some of the girls I had just now were pretty decent, and you were pretty good at it. No wonder the boss praised you to a few of us yesterday." Mr. Xing chuckled and said, "They are all serving Boss Ming. Those girls, you can play with them as you like after they are trained. Well then, let's talk when we have time. I will get in the bus first." An expression of satisfaction suddenly appeared on Mr. Xing's face, and he stretched out his arms, grinned and said, "This is the north of Myeondian where I grew up. Welcome to my world, delicate sheep." This act of killing a chicken to scare the monkeys can be said to have silenced the rest of the people as they lined up to get on the bus. Lin Luo, quiet and observant, watched everything from the back of the line. Shinhee waved his hand and asked the three locals with guns to follow Mr. Xing onto the bus. "Brother Shin, won't you come with me?" "No, it's okay. I'm waiting for someone. You go first." Unlike the rest of the people in the bus who looked worried and pale, Lin Luo got in the bus and sat in the back seat smiling brightly and almost laughed out loud. "It's so cool. As soon as I came to the north, I met an S-class awakener. No matter how many people are killed here, no one will care. Sure enough, this is my paradise." The speed of this bus is not very fast. The movement range of Dark Emperor is 170 meters, and the movement range of Lady Kagaya is 190 meters. After this bus starts moving, as long as the two substitutes are within the range, they will definitely kill with one hit. A gust of cold winter wind happened to blow as the bus started slowly. 100 meters, 130 meters. Shinhee stood there and didn't notice a pair of eyes staring at him with interest at the last window of the bus. Lin Luo immediately used the pink fantasy on him and murmured softly, "Dark Emperor, Lady Kagaya, take action now." Shinhee was instantly under an illusion and couldn't move as the two substitutes charged at him. A dark figure instantly appeared in front of him, with thick shadows blocking his sight. Bang! There was a violent sound breaking through the air, and with it a billowing stream of heat. It instantly rushed towards his face as the terrifying black iron fist landed on Shinhee's chin, deleting him immediately. Lady Kagaya didn't even get the chance to even attack Shinhee. Lin Luo was still smiling from ear to ear as he received a notification. To activate your SS-level talent Plunder, please choose one of the 4 target attribute values, talent effects, skill effects, and soul power to plunder. Choosing talent effects, Lin Luo checked the attribute panel. Host successfully plunder the target's talent and obtain the S-level talent audit. An S-grade with passive effect when activated, the enemy attacking you will automatically enter the audit state. Once it is confirmed that host cannot dodge, the attack will enter a brief stagnation due to violation. After violation is triggered, there will be a 12-hour cooling time. After Lin Luo understood the ability of this talent, he thought to himself, what a good guy, this is equivalent to a life-saving shield once every 12 hours. It can also temporarily stop the attacks of powerful enemies. It is a magical counter-killing skill. Sure enough, this is definitely paradise made for me. During the ride, Lin Luo was bored, so he decided that now that he had too many talents and substitutes, he will use this time to sort them out carefully, classify and become familiar with the many talents and substitute abilities, because only when he has a clear understanding of his own abilities and strengths can they be used in the most efficient way. In the future, when facing various situations, you can make the most correct response as quickly as possible. First, in terms of combat type substitutes, there are 4 in total: Dark Emperor, Lady Kaguya, Savior, and Transcendent. The first 3 of these 4 are very powerful, almost equivalent to level 40 and above level 3 players, and they are also the most powerful among them. Among them, Savior is a big consumer of energy, but he also has the status of a 24-hour personal bodyguard. His first skill, Blooming Flowers, on the other side, can also instantly resurrect him with full health at critical moments. With him around, he can rest peacefully even in basically any chaotic place. Compared with the other 3, Transcendent is much weaker, at most equivalent to a player close to level 40. But after all, he is still S level now. When he is promoted to SS level, he still has great potential. I don't know what abilities he will evolve except for the most important combat type stand. Next is Master of Wishes, the Power Bank Angel of Hope, and Future Diary that can predict the future. Although the other 3 substitutes, Green Goblin, Succubus Queen, and Purple Shadow Vine, have certain combat effectiveness. But the situation is very embarrassing, because in most battles now, they basically have no room to take action, and they play more of a supporting role. They're in a state where it cannot compare with the combat doubles, nor can it compare with the 3 auxiliary doubles. Maybe in the future, as their levels increase, they can be of greater help. In addition to being a substitute, in terms of talent, Plunder is the core of my strength, in the 3 states of the Book of Wishes where each have their own magical uses. Rainy Knight can block detection, and Hermit can directly become invisible. Both have their own merits. Perfect Fusion was my strongest trump card before, but now that my own strength has improved, it can only be regarded as the second card. However, when I reach level 40 and complete the 3rd transformation, the power of the substitutes can be sublimated into Light of the Soul. By then, the talent Perfect Fusion will still be of great use. Emotional Detonator and Pink Fantasy are both purely auxiliary and control talents, and can be of great use at critical moments. Finally, there are 4 types of defense and protection talents. The combination of the 4 talents of Personal Mask, Simulated Future, On a Whim, and Audit should be enough to prevent any situation from happening. Lin Luo went through his 11 substitutes and talents one after the other in his mind several times. Now that I have a clearer understanding and grasp of my own strength and various abilities, I'm no longer the weakling who needs protection from a substitute, and if someone thinks that my body is my weakness, I will definitely give them a big surprise. After the dilapidated bus bumped along the dilapidated road on the mountains for several hours, the sun gradually went down. Sitting in the back, Lin Luo thought, currently in this country, the image of the Dark Emperor had been exposed. If I want to hide my identity, it is better not to call out Dark Emperor unless it is absolutely necessary. Fortunately, the newly acquired Transcendent is also a combat substitute. In a place like this, he should be enough to cope. At that moment, there were low whimpers from 2 guys sitting in front of Lin Luo. We haven't reached their home yet. If we kill them together, we might be able to escape. What? They have guns. So, there are only 3 of them. This is our only chance. If you want to go, but leave me out of it. I don't want to die. Ignoring them, Lin Luo closed his eyes, thinking that was a predictable answer. After all, no one wants to be the one who gets shot. Soon, the dilapidated bus drove to an empty playground in a factory area. Mr. Xing turned to the terrified passengers and said, "Everyone, get ready to get off the bus." Hearing this, they all began to scream in panic while others also started crying. Mr. Xing's face showed an evil grin as he points his fingers at the scared people. Behind him were the 2 armed men with guns. "Why are you making such a fuss? If anyone makes any noise again, I will skin you all." The 2 gunmen pointed their firearm at the already frightened people with greedy eyes and a smirk, like a group of hungry wolves looking at many fat lambs waiting to be devoured. Their saliva was almost drooling. The goods this time are very good. I wonder if we will have a chance to enjoy them. I heard that some families are quite well off. I will make a fortune first, and then force them to go to Babel Tower to earn money by completing dungeons. Finally, let them commit phone fraud. The year-end dividends will be much thicker again. Suddenly, a slightly violent-haired woman jumped at Mr. Xing's feet, begging to be let go because she has children at home that needs her. Mr. Xing, displeased, told the gunman beside him to drag her out because she was making a scene. Without hesitation, the gun-wielding local man immediately rushed forward with a fierce expression, grabbed the girl's hair and pulled her out of the bus as she shouted her lungs out about how painful she was being treated. Everyone in the bus was speechless when they saw this scene. As one person was dragged out screaming, the rest of the people still in the bus chose to go out on their own. Soon, a long queue was escorted out of the bus. Lin Luo happened to be at the end of the queue. At this time, no one noticed that his body was quickly disappearing into the air. He activated his S-level talent Hermit. When Lin Luo finally got out, hands in his pockets, he was standing at a high-rise building in the factory area under the watchful eyes of armed men. All the windows outside this high-rise building were boarded shut, and a casual glance showed that there was no room for escape. Mr. Xing stood in the corridor, chatting with another person who looked like a small boss with a comfortable expression, and said with a sinister smile, "Brother Chen, let me tell you, this batch of goods is better than the previous ones. I have chosen one specially for you. It is absolutely on point. I'll go see the boss first and send her to your room later." Smoking a cigarette, Chen Lelong grabbed Mr. Xing's shoulder in a brotherly manner and replied, "You still know me so well. No wonder Boss Ming values you so much. He will definitely reward you well." And with that, Mr. Xing headed to his boss room, smiling and daydreaming about the rewards he will receive. Still invisible and his hands still in his pockets, Lin Luo followed Mr. Xing quietly and leisurely. With excitement, Mr. Xing finally came to an iron gate. He calmed down his surging mood, showed a respectful expression on his face, and then reached out and knocked on the door carefully. Soon a deep voice came from the room. "Xing? Come in." Hearing this, Mr. Xing immediately licked his lips and pushed the door open with a flattering smile. Just when he opened the door, Lin Luo's invisible foot suddenly kicked his behind with a slight force. Mr. Xing immediately fell on the ground unceremoniously, to which his confused boss, Minggu Chang, was sitting behind a sandalwood table in the room. He asked Mr. Xing what he was doing. Mr. Xing stared back at the door and, finding no one there, replied that he was pushed. Just then, the iron door seemed to automatically close with a loud sound. Minggu Chang's eyebrows couldn't help but frown, and his voice became fierce. "If I compliment you trashy people for a moment, you decide to cause trouble for me in the blink of an eye." Mr. Xing immediately panicked and explained, but he was cut off as Minggu Chang got up and slammed his desk. Minggu Chang, worthy of being the leader of the Northern Forces, instantly realized something was wrong. He demanded that the person shows himself. "Come on out. I know you're here." As soon as Minggu Chang said that, Lin Luo's head suddenly appeared in the air, then his whole body quickly materialized in the room. He said with a smile on his face, as expected of a boss, "You're really calm." At this time, Mr. Xing looked at the somewhat familiar face of this young man. He suddenly came back to his senses, pointed at Lin Luo and questioned endlessly in a panic. Why are you here? Shouldn't you be taken to detention? This young man is one of the employees. How did you end up here? And what was his weird ability just now?" Lin Luo paid Mr. Xing no attention and said to Minggu Chang, "Wow, just awesome. You acted well. You were even more of a villain than the villains in the movies." Minggu Chang immediately took out his handgun and pointed it at Lin Luo. And with a fierce expression on his face, he questioned, "Who are you? What is your purpose? Don't think that just because you have awakened some special talent, you can mess around on my territory. Be careful, Grandpa. I will kill you with one shot." Seeing this pathetic threat pointed at him, obviously meant to intimidate him, Lin Luo couldn't help but smile and reply with a question of his own. "Are you sure you can kill me with one shot?"